I like Irish people. The Irish fella in this video actually sent me a guitar, but first he sent me a bottle of whiskey. I like Irish people.
Guitar Stuff with John!
Welcome to Guitar Stuff with John. I'm being John. Over the last 18 months, one of the really incredible things that's been happening with the channel is that world-class guitar builders have been contacting me and asking me if I would play and review their instruments. So, about the middle of last year, I got an email and phone call from a small independent builder in Ireland, in Kilkenny, Ireland, named James Martin, and his company, JamesMartinInstruments. And I looked around online at what he was doing, and it blew me away. He builds guitars, bazookas, mandolins. He repairs anything you can put on his bench. He can make it play again. And when I started to look at the instruments he was putting out, they blew me away. I was not expecting what I was seeing, because generally European and UK builders build very Spartan instruments that are meant for function, and the form is not as a big a deal as the function of the guitar. You know, companies like Loudon, and these are great builders that build Spartan instruments. They look a certain way. They're very plain Jane, but they sound incredible, and they're well loved around the world. But then, you know, I saw James's stuff, and I went, I want one of these guitars. So he commenced building me one. Wasn't happy with the finish, so sort of in a desperation move, he said, I'm sending you my demo. I have a demo guitar that's a couple of years old, has been sitting in the lobby of the shop for a couple of years, and people play it all the time. I'm sending you that because I want you to have one of my instruments so bad. We'll worry about the custom one later. And lo and behold, this gigantic plywood crate showed up on my doorstep. And inside that crate was this guitar. This is the James Martin Instruments Cutaway Dreadnought. Now, I'm not sure if he has a... it was built in 26 February. Oh, it's not that old at all. Serial number 122. Cutaway Dreadnought. Signed by him, of course. And, yeah, but... my God, this thing is deadly. It's blinged out like crazy, which I love. I love that he does beautiful abalone work. Awesome Indian rosewood back and sides. We'll take a close look at this so you can see it. It's all bound in maple. It's got a beautiful mahogany neck, and the headstock is to die for. Look at that headstock. That plate that's on there is just wicked. And what was really cool, I thought, was when I opened the case, there was an actual live shamrock stuck in the truss cover. It was just sitting there in the headstock. And I actually took it out and pressed it in a book because I wanted to save it. But let me just play this guitar for you, because the sound of it is really something else. it's unbelievable. It sounds way larger than a cutaway should. You lose a lot of strange frequencies when you do a cutaway in a Dreadnought, I find. And this thing loses none of that. It retains the tone and volume and projection of a full body Dreadnought. Except you've got this beautiful cutaway up here. And it's true right up to the sound hole. Just a beautiful instrument. And a great example of what I've been saying since this channel started. You don't have to go to the normal, big brand names to get instruments that are just incredible. And this one in particular for me is, yeah, it's just a great instrument. And I would, if you're looking for, and I'm not sure exactly what the price of this guitar is, but something tells me it's not that bad. I haven't talked to him about pricing, but you can definitely go to his website, JamesMartinInstruments, and they will tell you, and they build custom instruments. You can put a custom order in. He does OM. He does all body sizes, Dreadnought, OM, Jumbo, whatever. He can build anything you want. And, yeah, it's just another great example of, listen to it talking. Hoy. Like, it's alive, this thing. Another great example, of a small bench shop, like Boucher, like Gallagher, like the custom shops at Yeri and Yamaha, and where there's just a few people building instruments, and the quality is out of this world. So let's take a close look at this thing, and yeah, I want you to see it close up because there's a lot of detail. So we're going to start here at our headstock with the beautiful James Martin logo, and look at the veneer on this headstock. It looks like I'm not sure what this is. I think it's cocobolo. And the truss plate is another type of wood with some really cool figure in it. And if you look at the back of the headstock, he's using some really nice 510s, I think they are. Yeah, with ebony buttons, gold hardware, and you see that he has that European scoop at the heel of the neck there, and that may be another plate on the back, but it's just gorgeous. And so when we go down the front here, and we see that we see a premium ebony fingerboard, and the Abalone he uses is spectacular. He doesn't mess around with non-prime. Look at that. He seems to just pick the best pieces for everything he's inlaying. Look at those. And then down to our body, we see that he's got a primo, probably Sitka Engelmann, I'm not sure which, but the top is gorgeous. The grain is tight, straight, and this Abalone inlay is just amazing. Like that type of inlay, double purfled, guitar is completely bound in maple with extra purfling there too, you see, right? And the whole guitar is surrounded by this incredible inlay. We go up here to the bridge. This is the custom shape. You can tell it's shaped by hand. There's not a single sharp edge on it. It has a very unique flaring sides to it. A nice thick saddle. I think that saddle's a bit heavier than most. Ebony pins. And then our rosette is that highly figured mahogany and abalone rosette. Look at that. My God. Look at the figure in that abalone. My. It's just like he just picked the best abalone he could find. And of course, then we have our sticker inside. There he is. Pilltown, Kilkenny, Ireland, James Martin. And then back over to our back, which of course, as you can see, is beautifully figured book-matched rosewood with a maple strip down the back, a purfled maple strip. The whole back is purfled. See that? That black line going through there? Man, that's not easy to do. That's like a double binding. And it is beautifully done. Maple heel cap, strap button. And of course, the first thing I did when I got this guitar was install a K&K in it. And I used it at a gig recently with Dave Gunning. And I'm going to tell you something. This guitar, I have to say this because this instrument kind of freaks me out. There's something that happens with guitars, vintage guitars especially, where the harder you hit them, they don't buzz, rattle, and cack out. They seem to like self-compress and the notes get fatter and punchier the harder you hit the guitar, and that's what this one does. When you hit this guitar hard, it just seems to bunch up on itself and shoot the note out even harder with more warmth and more tone. And that's something that you only really find on old vintage guitars. This thing here plays and sounds like something that's 40 years old, you know, in perfect condition, of course. And I just love it. And I love him and his wife. They're just such nice people. And I'm so proud that he thought enough of me to do this. So there you go. And there you go. I mean, it's just incredible. Check him out. Check him out online. Don't be fooled either into thinking that because I got this guitar for free that I'm saying something that isn't true. And a lot of people, unfortunately, we get some trollers on here that say those things. If this guitar was no good, I would tell you. There'd be no point in me saying something that's not true. My name's on the line, and frankly, so is his. And he's a good man. So there you go. There's a culmination of a lifetime of work of building instruments, obviously, because this man knows exactly what he is doing. So there you go. There's the James Martin Cutaway Dreadnought. So there you go. The James Martin Cutaway Dreadnought, and it's a work of art. It's a work of art. Like I don't know what to say. And I want to thank James and his wife for reaching out to me. I didn't know anything about them. They started watching the channel and kind of fell in love with what we were doing and contacted me and said, you know, I'm your biggest fan. I want you to have one of my guitars. What a tremendous honor that is for someone who obviously has put hundreds of hours into this instrument to just say, here, I want you to have one of my guitars, as I think that much of you and your playing, that I want you to own one of my instruments. And of course, when I saw what they were, I thought there's no way that I would be able to not feature this and to let everybody know. James Martin Instruments is one of the best builders I've ever come across. And I'm sure there are others, and I know there are others, and he knows there's others, and Robin Boucher knows there's others. This is a worldwide fraternity now of these incredibly talented luthiers just throwing guitars out left and right. You have so much to choose from that you couldn't pick a better time to be a guitar player, right? It's like a kid in a candy store these days. With the pandemic happening and all the things that have gone on in the world, we're going back to music, and we're going back to finding great guitars and stepping outside the boundaries of what we think are the best guitars and getting outside that and finding instruments like this one that can really just blow your mind and inspire you to do all sorts of things. So thank you, James Martin Instruments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can't wait to see what else you come up with. I'm rooting for you, and we all are. And keep up the good work. Keep building guitars like this one. We need them in the world. Oh, man, what a cannon. I love it. Thank you. We'll see you next time on the next Guitar Stuff with John. Until then, keep picking. Uh-huh.